everyone, and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. This is Snapshot 24W13A, and buckle up, because this is going to be a very big snapshot. And upon its announcement, this article on Minecraft.net states it's the final 1.21 feature exclusive to snapshots for now. This makes me think that the new wolves and armadillo content we've seen recently will probably just end up getting rolled into the 1.21 update. But that is speculation, and we have a lot to cover. We're going to start this snapshot with the redesign of the Bad Omen effect. This is the status effect that you can obtain from a raid captain, which is the pillager who patrols your world with the ominous banner on their back. This act would grant the player with the Bad Omen status effect, and then upon entering a village, we would activate a raid. However, these are now described as being optional thanks to this ominous bottle that will drop from your villager patrol captain. These are known as ominous events, and although you could get rid of the status effect with a milk bucket, the fact that it's been moved over to a potion just means you get to choose exactly when you want to use it. These new potions can also be found in the new trial chamber vaults, and that will lead us later in this video to the other ominous event. For now though, I want to show you a few more details about this. Let's go ahead and drink one so we can see that new status effect icon. The effect actually lasts for 1 hour and 40 minutes. It's called Bad Omen, but it will transform into something else if we are to enter this village. If I drink another one of these bottles, it doesn't stack up to the next level, and you'll notice when we drink this, it gets fully consumed. So you're used to having 5 levels of Bad Omen. That's why there's 5 different potions here, because it's the potion themselves that has the Bad Omen level. So I've read that when we approach a village, it's not actually going to start the raid immediately. The status effect has transformed into Raid Omen. That gives us 30 seconds to cancel this out. So if I want to do so, I can drink a bucket. And yes, I've got some very fancy new particle effects around me. So when it comes to the mechanics of how a raid functions, the raid actually has like a center that it defines, and that is now defined by you, the player, when your status effect changes to Raid Omen. That's its new name, and there is a different one for when you are in the trial chamber. But the moment that you get Raid Omen, that creates the raid at the point you are at. Okay, the raid has begun, and we know that this spot right here where the hay bales is, that's going to be the target for all of the raiders. And here they are, heading towards the hay bales. It's time for me to get out of here, though. So what happens when we enter a trial chamber with the Bad Omen effect? Well, the status effect is going to transform into a trial omen. This will happen when you're in line of sight of the trial spawner. Okay, there it is. We now have the trial omen effect, which you can see lasts for 15 minutes. And that spawner right there has transformed into an anonymous spawner. As you might have guessed, the challenge here is going to be elevated greatly. This is going to be a much tougher fight. But you'll notice that I'm doing absolutely fine, and that's just because I've got resistance max level on to show you what's happening here. So I am surrounded by these ominous particles, which again look seriously cool, and we can see some other particle effects going on here. These are potions and projectiles that periodically spawn on top of both unsuspecting players and mobs. Okay, this is a lingering potion, so if we go on and walk into it, you can see its strength. So that can make our opponents stronger, but us stronger too. And yes, that guy is absolutely wearing a helmet with some trim. And it's been noted that these mobs will actually drop some of that armor trim on death, and that's actually a bug, so they're not going to drop this unique armor. The trial spawner now glows blue instead of orange, and there are also soul flames being emitted from it instead of regular flames. And a whole bunch of amazing sound effects that you've probably been hearing through this video too. So if a trial spawner sees you, the player, with the trial omen effect, it can become ominous if it's not in a cooldown, or if it is in a cooldown but it wasn't ominous last time it was activated. So making it ominous will bypass this cooldown. Other changes to the trial spawner include spawners increasing the amount of mobs present by a half for each additional player, down from 2, and baby zombie spawners can only have 2 mobs present where they used to have 3. These spawners will now only activate with line of sight too. I did just test this like crouching behind the copper grate, so it's possible that they can see you through glass blocks. Okay, there's another one down the bottom here. I'm going to get deliberately close to it, and then when I turn the corner, that's when it activates. Also, look! Baby zombies with trim! Oh, they look so cool! Last details here on the ominous spawner. When it becomes ominous, it despawns any existing mobs and starts its new challenge, and it will stay ominous until all of those ominous mobs have been defeated. But when defeated, it will eject a different set of loot to normal trial spawners. One of these is the ominous trial key, which I actually obtained from our encounter with the slimes earlier. These do not go in your regular vaults, but they go in ominous vaults, which are actually built into the dungeons. They're not activated by having the status effect, and this is how they quite commonly appear as I've seen them. Like over here, for example, I keep seeing them sort of nestled up above the ground with some of these copper grates and candles in front of them. Now here's what a regular vault looks like, and this is the ominous vault. So you can see slightly different looking. In fact, we've got the key there, and then the key with the 3 heads, like our ominous trial key. And when we get close, this one becomes orange. This one here becomes blue. Let's go ahead and put our key into here and see what we get. Aha! Some pretty epic looking loot. So these ominous vaults eject loot very much like the trial chamber loots. They're split into 3 categories, and you get a combination of those 3. You can get up to this amount of these items, and over here we've got the ominous bottles with bad omen, level 3, 4, and 5. That's how you obtain the top levels. In the rare category, you can get enchanted diamond gear, a golden apple, an enchanted crossbow, as we got a moment ago, and also enchanted books with one of these enchantments, and new enchantments right here. Yes, we're going to come back to those later in the video. In the unique category, we have the heavy core, the banner pattern for flow, the smithing template for flow, and the enchanted golden apple. So as you can imagine, this affects the regular trial chamber loot. You can get the ominous potions level 1 to 2 there, and as you saw, the flow banner pattern, the flow armor trim, and the heavy core, they're in the ominous loot and they're not in the regular loot. So the Guster banner pattern and the bolt armor trim are going to remain in the regular loot, and instead of the heavy core, there's now a rare chance of getting a trident. There will also be an emphasis on better food from these vaults. I just got 2 golden carrots from this one here. And last of all, the trial spawner has a 50% chance to give you a trial key. An ominous trial spawner only has a 30% chance to give you the ominous trial key. Okay, we've covered a lot. There's still a lot more to cover. I just want to take a moment to say if you're enjoying the video, leave a like. And if you're not subscribed around here, please be sure to do that and catch future snapshots where we cover all of the changes, like this next one, which I'm really quite excited about. There are 4 new potion status effects, okay? You've got Wind Charged, Weaving, Oozing, and Infested. So what we will do is first of all apply it to ourselves so we can see that cool status effect icon. These also have their own unique particle effects which appear around the entity. Then we are going to apply it to a mob. So this creeper now has it, and when I kill the creeper, it's going to do something when it dies. Oh, okay, there's a little bit of a delay there. What's going on? So, the wind charge effect, that's what gets applied to this mob when it dies. It just seems to be a bit of a delay, and then there's the wind charge. I think the dying animation has to conclude first. Yeah, and then it's kind of where you punch the entity too that the wind charge explodes. Next up is weaving. Let's check out those particle effects. Not quite as impressive. And there's that awesome status icon too. Then we'll go ahead and apply it to a creeper. And then we'll kill the creeper and see what happens. A cobweb. Okay, I just did this again and it didn't drop a cobweb. Let's see what happens. Okay, put one over there. So like maybe it's like random. It looks for a spot to put one and then places it down. Anyway, that was weaving. Now we want to check out oozing. So once again on ourselves, check out the particle effects and check out that cool status icon. This one is related to the slime mob and it's also immune from its effect. Let's go ahead, kill the creeper, and upon death, it creates 2 slimes. I wonder if they can be different sizes each time. Okay, 3 in a row. Okay, it seems to be the medium size each time. Let's do it one more. Yeah, seems to always be medium. The last one here is Infested. And again, particle effects looking pretty good. And there's that status icon. As you might have guessed, the silverfish is immune from this effect. And I have cleared myself of strength so that when we punch it, we actually do some damage to this guy. There's a very small % chance that it's going to spawn some silverfish after I do damage to it. There's got to be a better way. And here it is. Did we get any? No. There you go. There's the silverfish. So yeah, that's what that status effect will do. You damage the opponent, there's a slim chance of a silverfish spawning. So what about brewing these potions? You can indeed brew them. They all start with an awkward potion, which is simply made from a water bottle and a nether wart. Wind Charged is made from the breeze rod. Here we go. Bam. Then the cobweb will make weaving. The slime block makes oozing. And a stone block will make infested. Now, as for modifying these potions, they all work the same way. You can't do redstone or glowstone, but you can turn them into a splash potion. And you can turn it into a lingering potion with dragon's breath. A couple of minor things. Trial chambers have had quite a few tweaks and changes to their layout. The big thing that I noticed is that the starting room with the tree now goes into this other room that has a waterfall in the middle at the bottom. And then on the walls, you've got mobs. On one side, I found a breeze, and on the other side, it was a spider mob. So I traveled around to a few more of these. I found a G on the wall, and another one was a mossy skeleton, aka the Bogged. Wind charges also no longer collide with end crystals, and the breed avoids jumping into dangerous blocks. Alright, next up, it's the turn of the mace. And it looks like Mojang have been listening, because a lot of people are asking for enchantments on this thing. So yes, the mace can be enchanted, and it can support mending, unbreaking, smite, bane of arthropods, fire aspect, and curse of vanishing. It also has 3 new enchantments. You can get density from level 1 to 5, breach from 1 to 4, and wind burst from 1 to 3. You can get all of these through the enchanting table, and they can be joined together as well. I actually got this with 1 enchantment, so that's all of the new enchantments on a single mace. So for density, the amount of damage for 1 block fallen increases by 1 for each level. So if you fall 10 blocks with density 5, that's going to be 50 damage. Let's give this a whirl. Oh, 1 hit from 10 blocks. The breach enchantment is going to reduce the effectiveness of armor by 15% per level. So that's 60% for level 4. Another 1-hit kill. Okay, I also had density on as well, so that wasn't too surprising. Now, Wind Burst will actually emit a wind burst effect upon a successful strike with your mace. The higher the level, the bigger the wind burst. Okay, let's give it a try. Hey, you can see it being emitted there. It kind of, oh, that time I went straight up. It probably depends on what angle I hit it from. That's pretty cool. Hey, look at me bouncing around. Let's now try that again with level 1. Oh, definitely feels different. Yeah, not as effective. There are other changes too. You may have already noticed when we attacked from high up, the smash attack now has these added particle effects. If you're not in the know, this is from where you attack falling from above 1.5 blocks. The power and range of the knockback effect has been increased too, so these entities get pushed further away. And that increases yet again if you fall from further than 5 blocks. And the baseline damage of the mace itself has slightly been reduced. I think it used to be 2 hearts per block, and now it's 1.5. So that was all of the 1.21 content, but as I said at the beginning of the video, I think these are going to get rolled together. So there's not much 1.20.5 stuff to talk about, but it seems like some new Cobweb Sounds were added, and these are all really similar. Yeah, there you go. And here on the website, you can see there are more sounds added for the ominous content, which we've heard throughout this video. The technical changes in this update relate to chat and network protocol, a lot of technical stuff going on here. And when it comes to the data pack, a lot of these changes, like a new loot table type known as equipment, seem to be related mostly to the stuff that's been added for the ominous trial. For example, there are entity tags like immune to oozing and immune to infested. There's also some new item stat components like ominous bottle amplifier, and then more loot functions have been added too. This mostly looks like stuff that's relevant to the map makers and the technical minded folk out there. I don't think it's going to impact our regular gameplay. That's pretty much all of the changes you need to know about in this snapshot, and right now I'd like to bring your attention to the fact that the Hermitcraft Season 9 World Download is available on the Marketplace, meaning you can access it on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, etc. This video is on my channel if you want to get all of the details. So yeah, go check that video out because this is the end of this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon with another one. Take care. Bye bye.